So, working with family totally sucks, right? No. Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Neil Winteregg, and I am joined today by Abby Johnson. And the reason she's in this video is because we're going to talk about what it's like working with family.
And we're family, by the way.
That's right.
This is my brother.
That's why she's in the video.
Yeah.
Okay. So, for anybody who's new here, we do 3 videos a week. 2 recorded videos like the one you're watching, plus 1 weekly live stream, usually Monday night at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So, tune in. Now, our dad is out of town right now on some business, and so he's left the children to do the recording this week, which is fine. And what we wanted to talk about when people find out that it's me, my dad, and my sister all working together in our company, they usually go, man, working with family sucks. And I'm usually like...
Or like, what's that like?
Yeah.
Ooh. Some people are really into it and they're like, wow, that's awesome. It's kind of a whole range of responses, but it usually creates some sort of reaction when we say that we're family owned and we work very closely together.
Yeah. So we wanted to talk about it because the truth is, I've been working with my dad. I am 34. I know, I still look 12. And I've been working with my dad since I was 16, pretty much full time. I took some time off in between there to do other things, but he and I have been working together for 20... Wow, I can't do math.
Wow.
I'm thinking.
Don't drop out of school, kids.
16 years? Yeah, 16 years, not 20 years. We've been working together for 18 years. That's what I just said.
Yes.
Yes, okay, good. All right. We've been working together for 18 years, me and my dad. And we've always enjoyed working together. I learned how to sell from watching him. I would ask him questions all the time about business. We would always be thinking and coming up with new ideas. And then Abby came around and started growing up. And then when it came time for the 3 of us to start working together here at Matterhorn, now there's 3 of us working together. And it's actually a lot easier than working with strangers.
I would say that it's definitely easier. I feel like, when we're in a meeting together, I can completely speak my mind. And I think that's true for anyone. Like, when we're bouncing ideas off of each other, it's very easy to just say like some crazy idea. And also to say if you don't like someone else's idea. We don't do it in a crappy way, but just like, no, I don't like that. That's not going to work. It's very open communication, and there's also no judgment. And I mean, we have never argued or yelled at each other or any of those things that you see on like reality TV, because we have such a good relationship outside of the business.
We're also not scripted.
Yeah, that's true. That helps. So, like I said, it's just very open communication. I feel like I've been able to grow as like an executive in a business because I'm able to really put my ideas out there and actually run with them. My dad has full trust in me. And, I really put together our program, Adventure to Profit. You can check that out down below. That was my baby I said, this is how we're doing it. And my dad was like, okay, let's go for it,
yeah.
And I don't know if I would have been able to do that exactly working for someone else.
No, it makes it a lot easier because you can just say what you need to say. And if somebody disagrees with it, you go, you know what, I like that one part of what you're saying, but the rest is crap. And I think that what we could do is this. And it's like, oh, you can't say that about my idea. No, it's like, yeah, you're right. That is crap. Let's do it that way. And we come up with new ideas that way because I'll have a partial idea and I'll go, I know there's something here. I just don't know how to make it what we want. Mm-hmm. And I'll say it. And then it's like, oh, well, we could do it that way. And I'm like, oh, damn, yeah, that would work. Yeah. So we actually get to compile bits and pieces of what we specialize in. I mean, it's always interesting when we're doing like a staff meeting and my dad asked me for advice. Like, hey, how should I handle this with that guy? And I'm like, wow, that's interesting. Like, how many parents come to the kids and ask it a question? But he knows that's something that I think with really quickly, and I come up with ideas. And I'll say to her, hey, what about, how do we do this? And then she'll go, well, what about blah? And you actually get to create and have ideas. And so they always say don't work with your friends and family. I don't agree with that. And
it can go wrong. It definitely can go. It can go wrong. It definitely can go.
But
wrong.
it can go wrong with somebody you hire off Craigslist.
Yeah, it can also go really right. And I think that you probably know whether or not you should work with your family. If you ask yourself, I'm sure that there are other outer family members that I wouldn't work as well with, and it's not because I don't love them, but you just. Oh my god.
That totally. This all stays.
That's fine. Yeah, Vince is our oldest brother. And I work with him actually, and it's totally fine. But there are people that even your friends included, where you're like, I love this person in a social setting or giving gifts at Christmas, but I know that when it comes to business, we would clash. And that's okay if it's not meant to be. But I think it can go really right, like what we're talking about here.
And I think that's the thing, is that we have the viewpoint of, when we're talking business, we're talking business. We're not talking family. We're talking a business idea. It's not my sister crapping on my idea. It's which happens all the time, nonstop. It's just so frustrating. It's knowing that this isn't a personal discussion. It's how do we get this project done? How do we get this result that we want? And if I don't have the best idea, or I have part of it, and she's got the other part of it, then it's awesome, because we get the project done and we get the result that we're looking for, probably better than if we just did it the way I came up with initially. So all the things that you really see are our own 3 identities and personalities intermixed into these programs and intermixed into the things that we do.
Yeah, and I think the other important point here is having defined roles within the business. This person is in charge of X, and you need to treat that person as if they are in charge of that thing. So I have the most experience out of us 3 with administrative things, systems things, softwares, those kinds of things. So my dad and Neil know that if I'm saying no, we're not going to sign up for that program because I know it's crap, or this is the most efficient way to do this, they trust me because they know that that's my role. I'm in charge of those things, and they trust me in that. So,
and it's to the point where we don't even you'll be like, oh yeah, we're using this program to do this. I'm like, oh okay, cool.
Yeah, just whatever.
Here's your login information. Yeah. Oh okay, now I have a login information. I'm not like, well, I don't know. I mean, what? I'm like, oh, that's what she said. We're going to use this for that, and that's what it does. It's not a problem.
I also know they're the ones with sales experience. They're like sales geniuses, where I'm having to sell right now and I'm new to it, but I've gotten to hear them for 16 years talk about it. So I can come to them and say, how should I handle this prospect? And then they'll say, look, you should do X, Y, Z. And even if I'm like, oh, I've never done that or said that before, I trust them because I know that is where their experience lies, and there is that trust there. So definitely, if you are working with family, you need to assign roles within your business, just like you would with any other employee, and you need to respect the fact that that person has that role.
And if you do it that way, things will go smoothly, and there will be less arguing and things like that. But all in all, I think working with family or working with close friends that are basically family, I don't see anything wrong with that. And it's actually hard for me to understand when people are like, oh, I could never work with my parents. I'm like, okay, that's
I think that
great.
Says more about their relationship personally, unfortunately, but...
Yeah, and if you don't want to work with your family, don't do it just because we're telling you that it's great for us. But that's just some advice on that, and we wanted to share our experience because the 3 of us actually get along great and enjoy working together, and I think that more people should probably do it, but it's totally dependent upon your relationship with them. So I hope that tells you a little bit more about us and what we do. Greg couldn't be here, but he says hello, and I'm his favorite. All right, goodbye. Just kidding.
Anyways, hit subscribe, hit the like button, please comment, let us know. Do you work with your family? Would you like to work with your family? We want to hear your thoughts, and we'll see you next time.